emerged as the very best Souls-like outside of From Software itself, with exemplary combat,
still gotta watch the
brilliant
spotlight.
bosses,
Hey,
and
at this point, you can
absurdly
read the
deep
cliff notes,
mechanics.
bruh.
Nioh 2 improved upon
Good
just
job.
about every aspect 3 years later, but didn't change a whole lot overall, essentially making it Nioh 1, but better.
Now you
Nioh
stay
3,
on it
the
for
other
very
hand,
long.
is
Yeah,
far
me
more
too.
than just an
I mean, it's a
iterative
Souls.
This
Souls
is a
like
total
kinda shit.
transformation of the formula, one that trades out static overworld maps for enormous open fields covering multiple different eras of Japanese history.
What I've
This
decided to
shift,
do
plus
going
the
forward,
addition
though,
of an entirely new
any
stance
game that I
changes
try on
the rules of
stream
Nioh's
that's
combat
like,
and a litany of smaller
that I'm
quality of
actually
life
playing,
adjustments all amount to
I
the
will
most
do at least
significant
1
shakeup
hour.
The series has seen up to this
I will
point,
do 1
and
hour,
of the
see
best
if it hooks
Souls-likes
me. If
to
it
date.
does, I'll keep playing. If it doesn't, I'm done. But some of these games,
To get the
you
bad out of
know,
the way first, one area
5
that
minutes,
has
I'm
not
really
seen
trolling.
any sort of significant shakeup is the storytelling. And that's a shame because it has always been one of the weakest elements of the series. Like previous Nioh games, the story serves mostly as a means to guide you through a fictionalized retelling of significant battles and wars in Japanese history, one in which monstrous yokai, magical stones with corrupting influence, and guardian spirits are commonplace. You play as Takechiyo, the grandson of Ieyasu Tokugawa,
So eventually really
and heir to
trolling.
the seat of
No.
Shogun, who must travel back in time to obtain a means of defeating an ancient evil that has
I'll be
corrupted
honest,
the
5 minutes ain't even trolling either. But I'll give it more of a chance for y'all.
Story is that it's very dry and, to be frank, just kind of
I'll
boring.
tell you, the only
Someone with a better
time I've
knowledge of
ever
Japanese
been
history may
wrong
get more out of it thanks to knowing the
has been
context and
Zenless, and
significance
even
of
with
these
Zenless,
historical
they
figures
removed
and
what I
events,
didn't fuck
but
with.
for a layman like me,
A lot of these
there's
games I've
just not
deleted
enough
to,
work
I've
done to
also
make you
played
care
them
about
off
what's
stream.
going on in each of the eras that Nioh 3 took
I
me
got
to.
back,
Fortunately, cutscenes are short, the choreography is great,
but I ended up playing
and
it
these
again.
story shortfalls never got in the way of the action elements that
Because sometimes
otherwise
GameFly
make
sends me
Nioh
the same
3
games,
one of the best
and I'll go
Souls-likes
back and
around.
play them. I've been playing Breath of the Wild,
I'll
actually.
say this right out of the gate. Nioh 3 has the best combat of any
little bit.
Souls-like, past or present. End of story.
Even though I
It
didn't,
nails the look and feel of its weapons,
obviously
the
fuck with it on
variety
stream.
within those weapons, the depth of its
So I've
mechanics,
gone back,
the challenging and aggressive
but
enemy AI, the
I don't know.
multitude of
A lot of
different
those
approaches you can
games,
take in
when I
any
went back
given
to play
combat
them,
encounter,
like even
and the list
Monster
just
Hunter,
goes on and on.
when I
It's
went back
all
to
best in
play it
class
for those
quality at every
extra
level.
hours, I felt the same way at 2
Nearly
hours
all of
that
that
I
was
felt
true
at
for Nioh 2
15.
as well, but what
Like,
elevates
it's
Nioh
the-
3 even
I
further
didn't want to
into the
play it.
stratosphere is the split
I feel like most
between
people
the
can
different
definitely
combat
just look at
modes.
something and be
Samurai
like, yeah,
and Ninja.
this really
Samurai
ain't for
mode
me.
is the traditional Nioh combat experience.
Or at least I can.
Characterized by careful resource management through the usage of stamina restoring key pulses, the need to switch between low, medium, and high stances depending on the given encounter, and a careful balance of defensive techniques and offensive rushdown. Ninja mode, on the other hand, is a brand new style of Nioh combat that switches out the aforementioned key pulses and stance switching, replacing them with much faster attacks that require far less stamina, allowing me to basically suffocate enemies with strikes without even giving them a chance to fight back. In addition,
hey.
Ninja mode also gives you
My
access
style.
to jutsu attacks, like shuriken, traps, and magical spells, which refill as you land attacks and are great for targeting enemy weaknesses or hitting annoying flying enemies.
Let's do that by my games, but
Two
no, if
modes
I'm
can be
not gonna
swapped
finish.
freely on the
Oh,
fly,
well,
and they even have
absolutely.
their own equipment sets. Where you essentially
so-
build two different
And before I met you in the first year and a half of streaming, I only bought games that I knew I would fuck with. Like, I think the only game I've ever bought that I was really, really disappointed in was Rebirth. Because in general, if I buy something with my own money, I know I fuck with it. Like, I was, it's crazy that it's Rebirth and not Borderlands 4. But Borderlands 4, I purely bought it because I wanted to play with Bunk, so that's just different. Like, it was very much exactly what I expected. Rebirth kind of let me down. So it kind of wasn't exactly what I expected. But, no, I completely get that. I think it's because of Gamefly. Rebirth disappointed you? I'm surprised you didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't like that game that much. That wasn't even my game of the year that year. I gave it like an 8. But I was expecting to like it more than the Yuffie DLC, and I did not like it more than Yuffie DLC.
characters with different combat focuses and styles. Team Ninja smartly avoids falling into the trap of forcing you to use one stance over another in order to defeat a certain type of boss or enemy, which often stymies creative combat expression.
I mean, you know my problems with it. If I have, like,
other games. Instead, both stances are always viable, And the choice of whether one is better than the other for a particular
Really
type
excited
of
for part 3
encounter
though.
is
I hope
always left
that
up
part
to your
3
discretion and
I
playstyle.
really fuck with because
It was always a great feeling
it's
to
sick to
return
me.
to a
I don't
boss
like
that
saying that the
previously
Yuffie
died
DLC is
against
my
and
favorite
adjust my
shit.
strategy by either using
Because
more
the
or
first
less of one of the
game,
modes. For example,
the first game kind of pissed me off too.
Powerful but predictable attacks, I might stick to
I
samurai
like it because it
stance so that I
feels
can
very
parry their
stretched out.
attacks
It
and
feels
have
like
more
the story
stamina
was
left
not
over
supposed to take that
counterattack.
one.
But in a fight against a faster and more erratic boss, I might focus on ninja stance instead and use my quick step missed ability to maneuver
I
around
still
to
got
their more
platinum that
vulnerable
game, at least before
backside
part
and
3.
avoid having to block off
Hey,
together.
niggas are saying that part 3 is about to come out soon,
While I have a clear
and
preference for the
or at least get
flexibility and
announced,
speed
then I
of the
would,
ninja stance,
or I
developer
guess we'll
Team
see like
Ninja
trailers
has
and
done a
shit.
great job of balancing the two
Would not be
stances
shocked.
to make them both worth swapping.
The Switch getting
between.
rebirth so soon
Samurai
after
mode feels a
getting
little bit
the first
weaker at
game is
base
crazy.
level, but is balanced
Except
by
remake
being much
walking
better
simulator.
defensively.
Oh,
It
definitely.
also has an additional mechanic called
Like that really wasn't my
proficiency
issue.
that rewards you with a powered up special.
Just
or
knowing
heavy
how
attack
7
if you're able to
goes,
fill a meter by landing attacks and
that whole
successfully
game
blocking
taking place
without
in like
taking
4
hits.
hours of the first or the OG.
Meanwhile, Ninja mode
It just
feels like
doesn't
Team
feel
Ninja
like it.
finally
There's-
taking off whatever
there's some
limitations
areas
they
I
may
don't
have
fuck
faced on
with. I don't fuck
combat
with
in
that
previous
train yard.
games in the service of balancing stamina management, lifting up their hands and saying, you know
I don't
what,
fuck when we
just
go in the
wild.
sewers. When you're you hit with that trap door.
Perhaps the
From that
biggest
fucking
departure
old-ass
from
perv.
previous Nioh games is the shift from a mission structure to a series of open worlds. Over the course of Nioh 3's 40-plus hour campaign, you'll be traveling around from the Edo period to the Heian era to the Bakumatsu era.
Hey,
and
that
even
last
flipping
area looked
around
cold
from
as
the Edo
fuck.
period to the Heian
Pun unintended.
era to the Bakumatsu era, and even to antiquity. Every period that you travel to comes with its own enormous battlefield to explore, with tons of points of interest all over the map, featuring optional bosses, challenging combat encounters, and worthwhile rewards. That last bit is important because one of the few complaints I've historically had about the Nioh series has been a lack of satisfying rewards due to the random nature of loot drops. The loot is still mostly random in Nioh 3, but there are now other meaningful rewards for you to seek out. Clearing out lesser crucibles will power up your guardian spirit, granting you access to new spirit skills. Defeating masters will unlock new nodes on specific weapon skill trees. Finding Jizo statues will allow you to select from a variety of bonuses that will aid you when you're inside a crucible. Sniping the weasel-like Chijinko demons out of the sky will get you elemental variations of techniques in your skill tree. You'll find equipable skills in the many chests strewn all throughout the world, and all of this on top of the already existing Kodama and Scampus collectibles that existed in past Nioh games.
I
Doing
think we
these
talked
open
about it.
world
Are you getting
activities
Dragon Quest
also
7?
adds to an area exploration rating, which itself comes with rewards, from stat bonuses to skill points to more areas of interest being pinpointed on the map. Rarely was I ever surprised while exploring any of Nioh 3's open
Also, I know you have a lot
worlds,
of
but at least I was
RPGs on your
well rewarded
backlog
for my
too,
time,
so
which counts for a lot in a game where you need every advantage you can get. But while exploration is well incentivized and the environmental design of these huge open landscapes is impressive, Nioh 3's open worlds feel like they're missing a unique identity. Part of the problem stems from the fact that you'll fight the same enemies in just about every zone. This was an issue with previous Nioh games as well, and it is felt even more so when you're wandering through visually distinct open worlds that all kind of feel the same. There are almost no enemies that feel unique to a time period. The Cyclops that appear in the Warring States
you're a
era
strong
are
man.
the same ones that appear in
I'm
the
back
Icy
on a
Aeon
few
period,
because
except
I need
instead
to
of rocks,
play.
they burst
I need to beat
snowballs
Aqu.
face overall, and a large number of them are completely new to
I'm
the
almost
series.
entirely
But
done
it is a little disappointing that
with,
the returning enemies
what?
don't have any new tricks or attacks
Pokemon?
to keep me on my toes. Not that you'll really need anything extra to be kept on your toes. Nioh 3, like the previous two games, is very difficult, even by Souls-like standards. Enemies and bosses are relentlessly aggressive, and if you're not careful about your stamina management, you'll find yourself regularly being stunned and vulnerable to high damage grabs that will kill you in just about one hit. But that difficulty is key to why the combat of Nioh 3 is so thrilling. Besides, even though the difficulty is high, checkpoints are well placed, shortcuts are abundant, and load times are super quick. So I rarely became frustrated despite dying 290 times over the course of the campaign.
Also, Finn, I think I've put in a good 70 more hours on Animal Crossing since that update.
Loot remains the
And this
most
shit has not helped me
frustrating
beat these
element
games
of
that are
Nioh
coming
3.
out.
The fact is, this is a loot system that exists for the benefit of New Game Plus at the detriment of a first-time playthrough. For New Game Plus and beyond, it's great. You're able to
Yeah,
dig deep
Pokemon, don't
into your
feel the
collection of
love,
gear,
same love
pick
for
out useful
DK and
sets,
what
and
else.
plan
I was
builds
content
around
when
their
I beat
powerful
it.
set bonuses.
Pick up!
And
I
really
remember
get into
Shofu kind
the
of felt the same
nitty-gritty of gear
way.
customization.
Well, I guess
But
not
until you
looking
get
at
to that
he
point,
was
gear gets
very negative about
outdated
it.
so
He did not
quickly
fuck with
that it
that shit.
just feels like a waste of Guardian Spirits and Soul Cores that can be placed in either the yin or the yang position. It's a lot. Thankfully, there is now an auto-equip feature that allows you to easily equip the most powerful gear you own with just the press of a button. What is especially nice about it is that you can set it to automatically equip based on weight. So, for example, you could just set it to equip all the heaviest gear you have if you don't care about having a bad dodge with just a few invulnerability frames, or you can set it for a balance of good gear and a good dodge, or you could go toward the other extreme and set it to auto-equip the best gear that still lets you zip around the battlefield, even if it means leaving 1 or 2 gear slots completely empty. Auto-equipping obviously has its limitations, as it doesn't take into consideration the build-defining special effects of a weapon or set bonuses, but it does give you an option to dramatically reduce the amount of time spent playing the menu game of Nioh 3 without impacting those who enjoy the process of meticulously fine-tuning their builds at every point of the campaign. Even in a genre that has become as saturated as the Souls-like, there is still nothing that hits quite like the Nioh series, and Nioh 3 stands out as being the best of the trilogy. The move to an open world structure isn't perfect, but the rewarding exploration, gorgeous landscapes, and thrilling optional boss battles mostly cover any minor issues. Strap on top of that best-in-class combat, hugely customizable build crafting, a lengthy campaign with a deep New Game Plus mode where the loot system actually shines, and a godsend of an auto-equip feature before you get there, and you've got yet another Team Ninja banger that sits at the top of the Souls-like genre.
A 9?
News editor Tom Marks here with Mitchell Saltzman, our reviewer of Nioh 3, to